ब्रह्मणे नमः। ॐ महेश्वराय नमः। ॐ विष्णवे नमः। ॐ ताण्डवे नमः। ॐ भरताय नमः। ॐ अभिनवगुप्तपादाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ प्रणम्य शिरसा देवो पितामहमहेश्वरो नाट्यशास्त्रं प्रवक्ष्यामि ब्रह्मणा यदुदाहृतम्।
निकुट्टकम् निकुट्टितौ यदा हस्तौ स्वबाहु शिरसोऽन्तरे पादौ निकुट्टितौ चैव ज्ञेयं तत्तु निकुट्टकम्.
When both the hands move as nikuttita at the region between the head and shoulder, with the feet stamping, it is called nikuttakam. Abhinavagupta has given the most lucid commentary for this karana.
Yes.
After quoting Kohala, he declares that nikuttita of feet is to have udghattita padabheda for striking. The stamping with heels must be in mandala sthana. The hands undergo alapallava nritta hasta. Idu vandu second type. The hands undergo alapallava nritta hasta alternately. When one hand does alapallava near the shoulder, the respective foot has to be stamped.
Yes. Paryayena angadvayena prayogaha.
The other hand is in Chaturashra posture. Then the first hand is lowered down as Avidhavaktra. Simultaneously, the second hand now must start Alapallava. So when one hand does Alapallava and when it is dropped as Avidhavaktra, the other hand starts Alapallava. Then that goes down as Avidhavaktra. And again this.
Actually, so this is a very difficult hand movement. Looks very simple, but it's very difficult. Avidhavaktra for one hand must go on.
Yes.
As this is moving,
should go up and
this hand has to keep on having Avidhavaktra.
The shoulder.
And this has to go like this. So this is totally a different type of force, and here it's a different type of force. The two forces are very different.
Managing very dissimilar things.
Yeah, very asymmetrical beauty.
So in the practical reconstruction we have, the only additional point to be mentioned is that Vibhanga would be of help in performing this karana. Moreover, when the hand has the palm turned inwards, the eyes must follow it. When it is outturned, the face and eyes must be turned towards the audience. The body must bend on the respective side. And when you do the Avidhavaktra, the Rechaka of the neck is important. The transition of
adding more and more difficulty.
The transition of the alternate hands must be very smooth but very clear.
I think this way of beauty and asymmetry is very unique to Karanas. Unlike in many of the Deshi dance forms, where it will be very linearly symmetric, but it is very sophisticatedly symmetric.
But that is the beauty of Rechaka.
Exactly.
Without Rechaka, this movement can be very, very mechanical.
And it will create very, very pleasant surprises. That is the beauty of Karana. In art, we should have something meant for curiosity, something known and something unknown. Known will familiarize things, unknown would sustain our interest. So these two things, known to unknown, should always go on.
In fact, a jerky movement and a curved movement have to be altered. There has to be some jerks as well. And curves also have to be there. Continuity and jerks make it really a Rechaka.
We have one more interpretation in this. The first type that we
First,
here it is just nikuttitam of the feet, and where they have mentioned that it must be between the head and the shoulder.
It's a simple one.
Yes, this is a simple interpretation of the same movement.
And what you said about the jerky and curvilinear movements, it's something like the Kampita Gamaka and Jaru Gamaka of music. Both should be judiciously employed so that music will enrich. Again, lot of connection between music and dance, such interconnectedness with different arts and sciences will go.
Karana 9, Nikuttakam. The action of the feet could be a simultaneous Udghattita for both the feet or on the alternate sides. The Satara sculptures depict the latter. If both feet perform together, both the hands are also moved at the same time. For the latter interpretation, the Pallava Nrtta Hasta is performed with the Shukatunda Hasta moving up and the Lata Hasta performing Avidha Vaktra. The Chaturashra Hasta is used as a linking movement to perform the same action on the other side. Devi's figure shows a lifted right heel, suggesting Udghattita. The right hand in Shukatunda is in the process of reaching the shoulder for Alapallava action. The body rests on the left foot, which is in Parshva, with the respective waist raised. The left side is bent and the right shoulder and elbow are raised with the hand in the Chaturashra position. The Shiva figure, left heel is raised, denoting action on the other side. One of the right hands is in Lata, showing the continuity of the movement from the stage depicted in the Devi's figure. Here the Lata hand denotes Avidha Vaktra. The raised left hand denotes the action on that side. The other two hands in Chaturashra show the beginning as well as the transition of the action from one side to the other. This Karana is seen in Prambanan. The main figure, that is Prambanan's second figure, has two figures on the sides, but they are badly corroded and hence not very useful to understand the animation. The second figure is in Vaishnava with the left waist raised and the right side having Unnata Parshva, with the respective hand bent near the head. The head is tilted as Anchita to complete the Tribhanga. The left hand is placed on the thigh. The figure is depicting the movement on the right, while the figure of Satara Shiva shows the same on the left. The Dola Hasta of Satara Shiva is seen as Uru Hasta at Prambanan.
Ardhanikuttam. Yes, Ardhanikuttam. Anchitau Bahushirasi Hastattvabhimukangulihi Nikunchitartha Yogena Bhavedardhanikuttakam.
If the tips of the fingers are turned towards the face in the region between the shoulder and the head, and thus perform half of Nikuttita, this is called Ardha Nikuttita. So you perform half of Nikuttita, that is all is mentioned in the sutra.
Yes.
So here Abhinavagupta takes Nikuttita to mean Alapallava.
Yes. Alapallava iti vaktavye kunchita grahanam kriya vishishtatva pradarshakam clearly says.
So the practical reconstruction, this Karana is a ticklish problem because of no information on the footwork. Since the previous Karana, Nikuttaka, has been explained as Udghattita, we can presume that the same is applicable for this Karana too.
Ardha Nikuttaka also.
So, half of Nikuttaka suggested by the phrase Nikuttita Ardhayogena is to be taken for the hands. While the previous Karana involves Alapallava, Avidhavaktra and Chaturashra hands, this Karana has no Avidhavaktra. Moreover, the fingers have to be pointing at the cheeks.
And Abhinavagupta quotes Shankuka also. Shankukadibihi Anjanam Dehabhimukhena Prishtabhagyena Managa Lakshanam iti Yakshasitam Namna Na Sangatamitastam. So he is quoting some authority, Shankuka, another great commentator, and refutes. So during the time Abhinavagupta also, there were differences of opinion, and he arrived at his sense of right interpretation with lot of understanding and study. So these are the possibilities, and judiciously one has to stand to certain things. This is all since time immemorial, and it needs a lot of intelligence and contemplation to arrive at the truth, whatever possible with the available evidences on hand.
There is one thing here, when we actually do the movement of Ardhanikuttaka, we have a movement near the chest, and then it goes, and then you turn and Alapallava. So I'll just go through the sculptures here. All the three figures have Mandalasthana, that is in Tanjavur, Kumbakonam and Chidambaram. Tanjavur figure has both the main hands above the shoulder.
It's like this.
The left lower hand carries bow and the right lower hand has arrow, sword or a stick. The head is in Udbahita posture with the chin tilted up. Both the Kumbakonam and Chidambaram figures have right hand in Alapallava and left hand in Chaturashra. The left arm is damaged in Chidambaram figure. The Kumbakonam figure suggests the action of stamping with the left heel about to be started. So here, with all these sculptures, she has interconnected the whole thing. And now the movement that we do, it starts with stamping on the right heel. And then when we turn it as Alapadma, we stamp with the left heel. So both the sculptures, one has the right heel, the other has the left heel. So both have been integrated in this one movement, though nothing has been mentioned in the sutra.
The course itself is so beautifully inferred through the sculptures.
And we have this movement seen a lot in the Strivesham of Kathakali. This the swinging movement of the body, this we see. So it has been, we see it prevalent even now.
Deshi.
So that's how the sculptures have helped her in reconstructing the feet, movement of the feet. Karana 10, Ardhanikuttakam. In Satara, both the figures are in perfect Mandalasthana, with the left foot depicting Udghatita action to be performed by alternate feet. In Devi's figure, the left hand is raised above the shoulder, with the face looking at it and with the body bent to the right. The right hand is in the Chaturashra posture. The next stage of the movement is seen in Shiva's figure through the primary hands, which are in almost the same posture as Devi's. The opposite side of the part of the movement is seen performed in the actual demonstration. The body is bent on the right side. The other two hands depict the action on the other side. In this Karana, the fingers are to be pointing at the cheek with the palm inturned. The fingers may also be shaken as for Ulbana and brought to the chest.
Now, Katichina. Paryayashaha Katischinna Bakuvo Shirasi Pallavo Punascha Karanam Katichinnam tu Tadbhavet.
Repeating again and again the alternate movements of the chinna of the waist and the pallava of the arms near the head. It is called Katichinnam.
Not Sutra is quoted by Abhinavagupta. Katimadhyasya valanat chinna.
Abhinavagupta explains Chinna as the turning of the waist from its central point. So the movement starts with Brahmari Chari on both the sides with Atikranta.
Brahmarikaya charya paryayena parshvadvaya brahmanam kritva mandala sthanake sthitva bahu shirasi cha pallavam pataka alapallava chaya dvitiyam paryayena bibrad vitheyah. Punar aparena angena evamiti. So Abhinavagupta is clearly
Starts.
incorporated.
So the movement starts with Atikranta Chari on the right with the left leg thrown as Vrishchika. For this the hands, either both or the respective hands, is moved as Rechita. This is followed by the Chinna, either a half turn or a full turn. While reeling, both the hands which are Rechita undergo Pallava Nrtta Hasta and get crossed at the chest. So we have the Atikranta with Rechita Nrtta Hasta and then Chinna with Pallava Nrtta Hasta.
How come Atikranta is being used?
Here
In the
it's,
sculptural evidence.
we have the sculptures here. All three
Sculpture-
are in Mandalasthana.
No, but
They are all in
Atikranta is-
Mandalasthana.
But Atikranta, the commentary lirke.
Yes.
Abhinavagupta says.
Atikranta samam kritva trikantu parivartaye.
Commentary says
Abhinavagupta
Ati-
has mentioned.
Abhinavagupta says. In the sculpture, it is all just
Mandalasthana. only.
Mandalasthana.
So because Abhinavagupta,
Atikranta is not there.
uh,
Actually, this is from 1 to 11, I think. It's the last sculpture on one side in Tanjavur. It's a corner sculpture. It's only like this.
all three sculptures in Kumbakonam, Tanjavur, Chidambaram are in Mandalasthana.
All in Mandalasthana.
So you can't infer anything from that.
So sometimes even all the sculptures are coming to no help.
Yes.
Fortunately, we have the help of the comment.
Because there is definitely a Atikranta mentioned by Abhinavagupta. I started with that.
Yes.
Here in the hands we have, if only one hand is thrown out, the same hand is lowered to the chest through Vyavartita Parivartita. From Rechita, it could be either both hands are
Yes.
doing Pallava
Or
or
one.
we have just one hand doing. No, after Rechita, we have just one hand doing when you do the Chinna. So there are
Two
two
interpretations.
interpretations. You cross. So these are the.
Vismaya pradhana vakyarthabhinaye cha asya prayoga. In situations of wonder, this can be
Wonder.
used.
And because Bharata uses the term Paryayashaha,
Yes.
it has to
Again
be
and
repeated.
again and again.
Paduka has interpreted it as equal to the Makuta Adavu of the Bharatanatyam.
Not only that, if you study the Angaharas, all the Angaharas end in
Katichinna
Katichinna.
and Karihasta.
And Katichinna has to be done many times.
Many
This is
times.
what Bharata
Paryayashaha.
says.
So it is like
Alternatively, left to right like this.
it's like the Makuta Adavu is of today. Or Tadinganatum.
Tirmanam.
In all the
It's for
Angaharas,
Tirmana.
invariably they end with
Yes.
Karihasta and Katichinna.
So that is why he's
Muktaya.
saying you
Tihaya.
have to perform it many times.
Yes.
Katichinnam tathaivacha Katichinnam tathaivacha Dhadangatum kirikirikidatum Dhadangatum kirikirikidatum Dhadangatum Dhadangatum Dhadangatum
Karana number 11, Katichinnam. In Satara, Devi's figure portrays the stage just after the Atikrantachari and the beginning of the Chinna type of turning the waist on the left. Shiva's figure shows the process of beginning the Karana again after the reeling is completed, thus depicting the requirement of repeating the movement a few times. We have Prambanan sculptures for this. Though the Prambanan relief is highly damaged, 3 figures can be seen. As usual, the animation is worked out in order of 1, 3 and 2. Prambanan 1 shows the beginning of Atikrantachari with the right leg lifted. The right hand is in the process of performing Rechita. The third figure in Prambanan indicates lowering of the right leg before the left leg is lifted backwards as Atikranta. The next stage of this movement is seen in Devi figure of Satara, which depicts the beginning stage of Chinna. The main figure of Prambanan shows end of the rotation through the Chinna waist movement. The hands are in the process of becoming swastika. The left hand is already near the chest, while the right hand is extended, depicting the transition from Rechita Hasta. The left foot is either Kunchita or Agratala in the front. The right Parshva is bent as Nrtta, with the head tilted on the side as Anchita. All these indicate the Chinna type of reeling. Satara Shiva also portrays the beginning of the movement on right as it's seen in Prambanan. Both Satara and Prambanan reliefs clearly indicate the repetition of the action. Ardharechitam.
अपविद्धकर सूच्या पादश्चैव निकुट्टितः सन्नतं यत्र पार्श्वञ्च तद्भवेदर्धरेचितम्.
Ardharechitam is that movement wherein one hand is apaviddha and also suchimukha, while the foot performs nikuttita and the side is also bent. Abhinavagupta adds that the other hand has to be katakamukha at the chest.
Yes. Karo vakshasi katakamukaha suchimukena hastena अपगम पूर्वकं विद्धो निकट योजितः चपटचावसरे तदपसहरणे च पार्श्वं सम्यक् सौष्ठवेन नतं.
Suchi.
So throughout this movement, Saushtava must be maintained, especially because there is a bend involved.
Samyak Saushtavena.
So the torso shouldn't come forward. So the movement goes with the Suchi Hasta.
For Saushtava, Bharata gives one more. He says the ear has to be in line with the waist. If, for instance, if it is like this, you lose that line.
Forward bending.
You will look like a hunch. So the ear has to be in line with the waist.
Here, in the practical reconstruction, Sharangadeva's comment is also useful. Apaviddha is the movement of the hands proceeding out from the region of the chest, while the other one is in Chaturashra, and the other hand moves out as Suchimukha. This can be taken to mean the Ardharechita Nrtta Hasta, in consonance with the name of the Karana.
Very good guess.
Yes, the respective foot has to perform Udghattita. So because it's Ardharechita Karana, it's possible that it is Ardharechita Hasta. And this is an information added by Sharangadeva in his Sangeeta Ratnakara, and it gives room for both Vibhanga and Tribhanga. The sides can be bent as Vibhanga or as Tribhanga. So you have both interpretations.
अभिनवगुप्तस्य सेतच्च असमञ्जस चेष्टा प्रधान वाक्यार्थ अभिनये.
This can be used for an improper attitude of an idiot. But it's such a beautiful movement.
The tone and the temper of the Karana, if it is changed, then that can happen.
Maybe when we do it as a Tribhanga, if you do it in a very rustic jerky way,
and fast. It depends on for what you use.
Exactly.
The intensity and the speed.
And perhaps Abhinavagupta would have seen one artist performing on some occasion such a Karana, then he would have thought that maybe
Vidushaka's used
it. The same thing, if it is done in different tone, it will change the flavor. That's what even great aestheticians like Anandavardhana and other people have mentioned regarding different contexts of poetry.
अर्धरेचित संजीव अर्धरेचित संजीव
Karana 12, Ardha Rechitam. In Satara, Devi's figure is in perfect mandala sthana with the right heel lifted showing Udghattita. Both the hands are exactly like that of the Kumbakonam figure. The right hand denotes the beginning of Udveshtita rotation. Shiva's figure has the legs at the same position as Devi's. The torso is slightly bent on the left. The first two hands show the completion of the action. The left secondary hand retains the same position as Devi's, while the right is stretched in the process of Rechita in Suchi Mukha form. The other two hands suggest the same course of action on the other side.
Then Vakshaswastikam. Swastikau charanau yatra karau vakshasi rechitau nikunchitam tada vaksho vakshaswastikam evatat.
Vakshaswastikam is that movement wherein the feet cross and the hands perform Rechita from the chest, which is already bent, and the feet are crossed. That's all is given by Bharata.
Yes.
Abhinavagupta says that after doing Rechita, the hands perform Swastika.
Yes.
When the chest leans forward with the shoulders relaxed, this must be Abhugnam.
वक्षसि तौ हस्तौ चतुरश्रौ स्थितौ तौ रेचितौ कृत्वा व्यावृत्तकरणेन आनीय निकुञ्चिते आभुग्ने वक्षसि स्वस्तिकौ कार्यौ हस्तस्वस्तिकानुसारेण च पादावन्योन्यौ जङ्घानुगुल्फवलनेन स्वस्तिकौ कार्यौ. The valana should include jangha and gulfa, the toe.
Ankle.
Yes.
In the practical reconstruction we have both the authorities, that is Bharata and Abhinavagupta, do not mention the chari at all.
Exactly.
Since the cross of the feet is mentioned, we may take it to mean as Thitavarta. When the movement will go with the Rechita, it will go like on the left. And if it is Mattalli chari, so with the hands it will be Mattalli, second type. Then with Samotsarita Mattalli, so
all
with this,
these interpretations are possible.
we have three interpretations.
Three interpretations.
Mattalli and
Stitavarta. Because it's mentioning Janga Swastika and hands are Rechita. So these are the three possible charis which can be used.
In Mattalli and Samotsarita Mattalli, even the legs will have the swastika.
Cross, yes.
Very good. Yes.
Now you will understand why I have kept on revising and trying to improve the interpretations, adding interpretations. So
giving more and more accommodation
how-
to variety.
how it started was very different. Now its shape has become, I think, quite beautiful.
There is no second word about the beauty of it. Many times I had told on various occasions and also discussed with scholarly friends. Bharata, if comes today and says to me, these are not my Karanas, fine, but they are beautiful and that's why they are mine. I enjoy, that's what I say. Ultimately, it is Siddhim Prachasva. You inquire about the Siddhi, achievement. In according to Nrtta Shastra, Daivi and Manushi Siddhis are there. When the Siddhi is justified, then the whole course is self-justified itself.
And Ganeshji, I have another very big pride that at least 75 students have learned the Karanas, all the 108. And they've all worked on it in the sense they're using it there
Sure.
in their performances. Not only Bharatanatyam dancers.
Even Odissi,
No,
Kathak,
outsiders like Odissi,
Kathak.
Mohiniyattam, they have come and learnt, and they are using the Karanas in their deshi. Their respective deshis are becoming more beautiful.
Enriched.
Yes, enriched because of the pedagogy that is there in Natya Shastra. The body training is so perfect that
Even in Bhagavat Melam, Kuchipudi, and then Yakshagana, everywhere these have been adopted. Your students and students like that. The parampara is continuing.
it
The
is.
fourth generation has already evolved.
I'm so happy it is spread really well.
Here in for Bhakshaswastika, she has mentioned that the Tanjavur figure has the right foot crossed in front as Kunchita. So this we can see very well when we do the Mattalli Chari. So this is this sculpture helps her
One
infer,
evidence.
yes, that it must be the
Hint to
Mattalli
show.
Chari.
Mattalli.
And Abhinav Gupta, I believe, mentions that this Karana can be used for depicting koi. So
Yes.
the Sthitavarta, when we do this as
Lajjita
Sthitavarta.
jata anutapa pradhane vakyarthe evasya prayojanam.
So this Sthitavarta movement,
Look at that. Look at that. That's
this
very nice for koi.
attitude and that abhugna that we do, that adds to the mood of
Hunch.
the emotion. Yeah.
Yes.
A little
Boyishness.
hunch. Mm.
And even the employment of Mattalli and Samutsartha Mattalli adds the same emotion.
Yes.
So every Karana has usage for bhava.
Of course.
You can't do
But divorce.
exactly. You can't divorce, and you can't also misuse.
Yes.
There are
Well said.
definite actions of the body which goes well with certain bhavas. So
Anubhavas have the base in the Sthai Bhava and then Vibhichari Bhavas. They cannot malfunction.
I choreographed a whole number for Dominic, excellent dancer from France. He had mastered all the Karanas under me. For him, I choreographed Rasa Karana Nrtta. All the 8,
Rasas.
added 9th also. All only through the Karanas. Use that Ramayana, Sringaram,
Shingaram,
Shithimandini.
Shishanandini, Viharani.
But the whole thing is in the form of Karanas. The Sringaram, Kshitinandini, Viharani will be one phrase. After that, there will be a series of movements. Like this for all the 8, all the 9. Vakyartha.
Karana 13, Vakshaswastikam. In Satara, Devi's figure, the right foot is in front as Parshva and the left is Kunchita behind it. This suggests Samutsarita Mattalli or Mattalli Chari. Since the waist is raised on the left, it suggests that the right leg is to be moved in front with the weight of the body thrown on the right heel. The left side is bent and the head is also tilted to the left. In Shiva's figure, we see the next part of the movement in the legs, when the weight of the body has been transformed on the left heel with the sole placed flat as Parshva. Now the right sole is flapped up as Kunchita in the process of it being dragged to get encircled behind. The waist is raised on the right, causing the sculpture to be in Abhasa Bhanga, which implies the reflection of a movement in its transitory stage. In other words, it shows the midway action. It is not possible to take such a stance, but a sculpture denotes the continuity of the movement. This is the style of portraying Karana as seen in the sculptures of the Chola period, which has been faithfully followed in the Satara sculptures. If the sculpture is to denote a stance and not the course of action, the waist should have been raised on the left. The main hands show the course of action of being lowered after Rechita movement and prior to the formation of swastika. The secondary hands are in swastika.